welcome, Tony.
Happy to be here. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Cole and Dr. Terry for the opportunity to speak with you on the purpose of our conversation today, and I'll be brief, about 15 minutes hopefully. We want to talk about the transformation from books to e-learning as it relates to the classroom and students. We know that kids now go to elementary school, they're basically working off a tablet, iPad, or what have you. And as they transition through middle school, high school, and get to you guys, technology is a big part of where they've been and probably where they should stay, right? But we know that evolves. So with that being said, I basically just wanted to have a real brief conversation. I've been working with Dr. Cole and some of the students here for the last 6 months or so on some things, and got a lot of insight. And one thing that was common amongst that theme was technology. Everybody's looking for a way to use technology, whether it's to allow them to be more flexible, get it in a cheaper version, or to be able to share this information via email or what have you. So with that being said, can we flip this?
Yes.
So these are basically the things that I wanted to just basically get some quick feedback on from you guys. Who are you currently recommending for your e-learning solutions and why? Big three, according to the bookstore that I've had a chance to speak to around the city, have been pretty much McGraw-Hill, Cengage, and Pearson from a manufacturing standpoint. Okay? We'll talk about what support you receive from those manufacturer reps, if any at all. Why would you like to see, what would you like to see from your manufacturer's rep? Is it, more follow-up after the fact, more samples, be a little bit more visible to you, be a little bit more transparent with regard to pricing or what have you. So how does pricing affect the purchase process and decision? As you guys look at the cost of these textbooks, the cost of downloading a book, how does that play into your decision? And what has been the response from the students? Good, bad, indifferent? Are you using, Learn Smart and Smart Books? And last, pros and cons of e-learning, and we'll just have a basic discussion around that. So, again, by show of hands, are you guys using, which one of the three are you guys using? Are you using McGraw-Hill? Cengage and Pearson primarily?
Yeah.
And why?
Well, with Cengage and Pearson, those of us who teach the software application courses are using for the first time the Pearson book and the Pearson resources, which includes My IT Lab.
Okay.
Prior to that, we used Cengage's product, but this year, as you may know, there was a Microsoft Office upgrade, so we're now using 2013. Pearson came out with their product first. They had their stuff out there. We went with them at the end of the spring term.
Okay. So first to market, relevant content. Okay.
I use, in the bachelor's level courses, I use Safari. It's the database through the library that's free ebooks, and I use that for ISM 4220, the network management course, and the advanced converged class. And Steve Mannion, you still doing that?
I am. I'm still using it, but I'm very disappointed in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we only have 5 licenses?
No, because they just take stuff away. Like
Oh yeah,
it disappears.
And it does. It disappears. That's the worries about it. But when you teach, like
no,
for
when,
me,
when it's there, it's good, and I want to use it, but they're kind of pushing me to not use it, to be honest, at this point.
So it's the problem is that the college only gets 5 licenses for the state of Florida, and because now I have so many sections that are using it now that if more than 5 students try and get on, then they have to wait until somebody quits reading, and that's it. But the good part is I'm not stuck with one book. I have like 6 books that I use, and so it's the latest stuff that's out there.
When you guys have the opportunity for fall, spring, summer to make a purchasing decision about which way you're going to go for your curriculum for that particular semester, the manufacturer reps pretty much, do you give them all an opportunity to present to you as to what their products will be?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah,
that pretty
well,
much how you guys
Johns and them
operate?
did that for their.
Yeah, the battle was between Pearson and Cengage. McGraw-Hill did not have their product available even for preview.
Okay.
So, we had who did we have first? I think we had Pearson one day and Cengage the next or whatever.
Okay.
And, they both gave a presentation. And, all of us who teach that common course, got together afterwards in a short meeting and had a vote.
What kind of follow-up has it been since you purchased that product and the students are using it? The manufacturer reps come around, any type of follow-up to that?
Yeah, the rep has been very good. She's really been on it. She's probably one of the reasons why we chose the product.
And you had a trainer too, right? Supposedly. Yeah.
So aside from the manufacturer, they sent a trainer in from the company to come in and continue to
They
support.
sent someone in during the presentation
Okay.
when they were trying to sell it to us. They flew a guy in.
Okay.
There's some others in here who may want to speak to it, but the rep herself has been very helpful, and
Okay.
she's been here. There are some problems with the software, and there's some things that she doesn't really control
Right.
in terms of support or whatever. But and so I'll let Bob and Pam speak to that.
So continued support is critical.
Absolutely,
Making sure the software works is critical, right?
absolutely.
Okay, that's good. So, as far as pricing is concerned, is that an issue, or do you not really concern yourself with pricing? Is it really about the product?
No, it's also about the pricing for the students. One of our, part of our agreement was that we also asked them to put together the best pricing package that they could for our students.
Okay.
And because our adoption is a college-wide adoption, and that gives us a lot of leverage. So because of that, we were able to get the package down. The students are really paying a very reasonable price for the full textbook, the My IT Lab, the Fit Tips, which is a transitional card from 2010 to 2013, and they're getting a 180-day trial of the software.
Okay.
So for that bundle, we got them the best price that we could. We thought it was a fair price, and we kind of made sure the bookstore stuck with that.
Is it kind of fair to say students would probably like a hybrid situation, ability to have a book, ability to have e-learning adaption, or have a choice, would you say? Or?
Choice, for sure. Because
Choice.
there's people that call us more old school that want the book, and then there's,
Oh, yeah.
younger students that
Because
want
in my conversation with students is, hey, if I can buy it cheaper online, I can do it that way. But if it's a class that I think I may struggle with or may repeat, I may be more apt to purchase the hard book.
Our book,
But
our package comes available with an e-text, so
Yeah.
you don't have to buy the heavy book. You can buy the e-text version, and it comes bundled with the My IT Lab
and that's pretty much
and
across
software.
all platforms of all three companies.
Yeah, all of them offer ebooks for the software applications.
So what are you hearing from the student?
Price is always an issue for them.
Price.
I think a lot of the older students prefer to use Web 2.0 technologies and the internet to find and address their assignments as opposed to using the book. The books can be plagued with errors. And I just want to speak in that what Ross said. I think the problem that we have with manufacturers is that these guys all want to become their own LMS. And they really need to integrate into what we do versus making us jump through a bunch of hoops because, one, we don't have the time. And two, we have a lot of students that they don't even know how to navigate our system now.
Sure.
So asking them to do 15 clicks to get to an IT lab, can become cumbersome for some.
Sure.
And frustrating for instructors to have to, have students keep asking the same question day after day after day.
So fully integrate the technology into your curriculum seamlessly, right?
Make it easier for
Yeah.
us and our students
Sure.
so that, we can adopt it. And we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of hurdles that we need to jump over.
Sure.
We're going to have a few, but,
Right.
You
2 or
could
3
say
is better
more
than
than a few
15.
do.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't take but one link to be bad, and that student say, hey, it was a bad experience for me, and now it's this whole semester trying to graduate, and bam, here we go. So good feedback.
Yeah, that was one of the selling points too for Pearson. They actually promised us a single sign-on through Blackboard, and our people are able to put a building block inside of our LMS so that the students, the approach was going to be that the students would log into Blackboard, they would click on the Pearson link, it would seamlessly take them into My IT Lab, but that didn't quite work out.
Well, to be fair, we're on an ancient version of Blackboard.
Well, that is true.
Okay.
And
So
that
that's
may
an
improve
internal-
when we go to the new
Yeah,
cloud,
but we're moving.
the host
Sure.
cloud.
So-
Hopefully,
Kind of
we'll,
apples
by
to apples.
January, we should be having that fixed.
Tony, who are you with?
I am a independent consultant.
Oh,
And I'm gaining insight around this industry in order to be able to speak more to it and basically be able to understand, where we're going with education. So I have no dog in the fight, as they say, as it relates to any of these companies. But it's good insight because, McGraw-Hill was recently purchased last year by Apollo. So they went McGraw-Hill Education, and they're trying to kind of step their game up in regards to e-learning and technology. And of course, Cengage and Pearson, as you stated, are obviously in front of you guys and doing a good job of making it happen. So, again, we talked about, adaptive, not only just to the student, but the technology from the manufacturer down to you guys and ultimately down to the bookstores and make it a seamless process so the student will have a good experience, because that's the whole purpose of wanting to go this direction anyway. We talked about pricing, how that plays into, the purchase decision and also your recommendation decision. And then I think lastly, we talked about make sure that the companies, work seamlessly with you guys in order to make sure that it's going to be a smooth transition, because at the end of the day, in order for you guys to prescribe or recommend their product, you want to be able to understand it and make sure that students are going to have a good experience. Would that be a good way to sum that up? Over the last, to say, 10 years and moving into technology, what would you say would be some of the pros and cons to kind of, I guess we can use the word old school way of learning to kind of where we're moving into?
Well, we live in a digital age now, so most students have a computer. Our online enrollment has quadrupled, over the last 10 years. We have a lot of students who want convenience, so they want the convenience of learning online or doing a hybrid, which is a combination of the both, and that has just skyrocketed. So I don't think that's going to change. I do think we need some better tools to accommodate them better.
Okay. Is there a question in the back?
Yeah, a couple things we could use. If we're going to utilize our time in the classroom better, we need better activities in the back of the chapter that the students don't have in their books. And I would appreciate having, instead of just a slide presentation, which is just tons of words, I would appreciate a well-done slide presentation that's actually a video that they could watch at home and not in the classroom.
Yeah, I agree 100%. People, the last thing they want to do is go to your website and read a bunch of information. I mean, YouTube has totally changed the game. I mean, you can click on a video and, how do I repair how do I hang a 40-inch TV on the wall? You don't have to do anything other than click on this YouTube video and it's going to show you from A to Z. This is what hammer you pick up, this is what screwdriver, what have you. And it's the same thing for the students, I mean, if I'm going to look at something right now, and I do a lot of what I call CBTs, computer-based training. Again, the ones that are video, I'm all over those. The ones I got to read and do a bunch of stuff, I'll get back to those later. So I think it's just where we are now. But anyway, with that being said, I appreciate your feedback. Is there any other questions or comments around this subject? Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the feedback. Thanks, Dr. Terry. Thanks, Dr. Cole. And again, keep learning. Thank you.